Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, let's go!
This is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, a group, and we get into one of their albums. We get into the music, lyrics, how it was made, and everything in between. My name is Tyler, and we out there hundreds of miles away is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, you smash that subscribe button, dude. That's what the kids say. And that's all I have for the boring intro. Let's get into this. What are we doing this week, Jeff?
We're doing the Pharcyde in their album, Bizarre Ride to the Pharcyde.
Bizarre Ride to the Pharcyde.
That's it.
All right, cool. So there you go. That's what we're doing. We're going to get into our our origin story with the Pharcyde. Then we'll get into our first impressions of this record, and then just go from there. So, what do you got, Jeff? Let's just get this going right off the bat. Origin story.
I don't remember like the first time that I heard Pharcyde or anything. I remember being in middle school, the Pharcyde chats. I remember being like in middle school. I think it was 6th grade because I went to middle school in 6th grade. I remember just liking a lot of hip hop, and then at some point heard what's the Yamama? I think it was Yamama. Maybe we're telling Yamama jokes or something. I don't know. But I liked it a lot, and I remember my friends at that time made fun of me. Like, that's not real hip hop. This is real hip hop, and that's not rap. That's stupid. That's gay, bro. And so I've I don't know. I've liked them for a very, very, very long time, and this is my favorite hip hop album of all time. I'm like Kanye. This is my favorite hip hop album of all time. Love it.
It's wild.
Did you read that Kanye said that too?
No, I didn't. I did not read that.
Yeah, Kanye said this was his favorite album of all time.
That's just crazy. That's just crazy.
So funny. But yeah, this is my favorite hip hop album of all time. I think it's pretty much like always, but I don't think it's ever been unseated as my number one. I love every song on this. I'm gonna rank it pretty high, pretty fucking high. I'm like the Nero. I'm rank it pretty fucking high.
What's new? What's new, right?
Yeah, what's fucking new? A couple weeks in a row.
Yeah, you love giving out perfect ratings.
I didn't give Hello Nasty perfect. I didn't give Hello Nasty perfect.
You didn't?
I did not. I gave like a 2.8. I gave it high marks, but not perfect. Because it's not perfect.
Okay.
It's close.
Oh, I know it's not perfect.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't remember when the first time I heard this was. It was just I remember my friends making fun of me for liking it because it wasn't real.
As typical 6th graders, 7th graders do to one another.
Yeah, because we know all about the fucking world in 6th grade.
Yes, absolutely.
Kramer Middle, baby.
Absolutely. All right, so my origin story with the Pharcyde is the band Korn. Trey from the Pharcyde, Slim Kid 3. He, I'm just gonna say Trey because it's easier to say. But Trey was on a Korn song called Cameltosis from the Follow the Leader record in 1998, and I dove into Korn head first, and I just was obsessed with Korn. I still love Korn to this day; they're my favorite band. But that was the first time I had ever heard of the Pharcyde because of Trey on that one song. And then I do remember, like maybe a year later, once I became more computer literate and I was able to download Napster and learn how to download shit from Napster, I did download a Pharcyde song. I don't remember what song it was, but I remember I didn't like it. And even on the Korn album, that's like one of my least favorite tracks. It's the one that Trey is on. But because I was so obsessed with Korn, I was like, I got to know everything about all these guys. And yeah, I didn't really care for it. And even to this day, like, I think the Pharcyde are cool. I get why people like them. I get why this is considered one of the great records, but it's just not for me. So that's kind of my first impressions. I didn't actually listen to this record for the first time until we originally did this on the podcast back in 2019, like mid 2019, or I think it was like mid 2019. We did this on the pod. So it's a long, long lost episode, and we didn't do it justice at the time. But yeah, that was probably the first time I had ever heard this record in its entirety. Maybe maybe I listened to it with you at some point over our friendship over the years, but yeah, otherwise that was really the first time, and I've listened to it maybe a handful of times since then. But otherwise, it's not for me. This record's not for me. I would never say this is even in my top 10 favorite hip hop records.
Yeah.
Not even top 10.
I don't get that. I don't understand that. I don't know I don't know what you're looking for in hip hop. That I don't get it.
I'm not a big hip hop guy. I'm not. I like quite a bit of it, but I'm not the biggest hip hop guy. It's like when we did hip hop season a couple of years ago on the pod. I didn't know half the shit. You're like, listen to these like 50 different, albums. And I listened to most of them, and
wow,
I had never heard of over half of those rappers or groups or anything. It's just not my normal wheelhouse of music. But I do like quite a bit of hip hop. But anyway, that's
Okay.
my origin story.
That's
my first impression.
Starting. All right.
And so this is where we get into, do we have any stinkers on this record?
No, even the fucking skits are amazing.
Correct. You're right. There are no stinkers. The interludes, the skits, because they're not normal. Like, I'm gonna fuck your girlfriend, but I'm gonna smoke a bunch of weed. The normal like hip hop skits that are just so boring and stupid, predictable. These have like beats to them, and they're more thought out, and it's cool. They're cool. I like them.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no stinkers.
I love these skits. Skits in hip hop are so tough because, like Biggie on
It's like 98% bad.
Dude, like there's a Biggie skit where he's just like getting a BJ from like a girl, and it's just like, what the fuck is it? It's like 3 minutes long. Like why the fuck am I listening to this? Is so stupid. And what hip hop, I didn't say fails to realize, but like what the mass people that consume hip hop fail to realize, especially like in the West Coast, is like not everybody's from the fucking hood, dude. Some people are just like, like lower middle class or even just middle class, right? And
yeah.
I don't know, like Tupac doesn't resonate as hard with even, it doesn't have to specifically just be like black kids. It could just be any race of kids, but like that stuff doesn't resonate as much. So when you hear something like this, or the interludes and stuff is just, they're goofy. It's like, that's what kids are in general, even from the hood. Kids are just goofy in general because they're all from the hood and they're all goofy. And so I think that was an untapped market from, especially in the 90s of hip hop. Like not everything has to be so aggressively like politicized and just so aggressively East Coast versus West Coast. And like, this is on a different playing field. This is on a different level. Like 3 feet high and rising walked, so this could just fucking sprint. This is on a different level from even that. It isn't. This is.
You really think so?
Absolutely.
I mean, I know this is your favorite record, so I guess that's a stupid question to ask.
I think this is a top 5 hip hop record of all time, of anything. This like changed the game. Like this did so much for so much hip hop.
Which I'm so curious about because I don't hear it. I really don't, and I'm curious why you think that.
Because hip hop was only 2 things. It was either I'm hard as fuck because I'm from the hood, or I'm on a different playing field, right? I'm just so conscious and I'm on a different level of existence, and I found a new religion. And then this is just like, no, dude, I just want to get high and fuck
But like the golden age of hip hop, the golden age of hip hop was goofy too. It wasn't like they're doing anything new here. Look at like Curtis Blow. Look at even Run DMC.
Those are all
kind of goofy. Like
but
like hyping. It's just hyping yourself up.
Totally different though, right? Yeah, you're right.
It's
Those are goofy
style,
stuff.
Yes.
But the beats were the same. It was just like like that was it. It was electro shit. It was very disco inspired. But then you get De La Soul, who's like doing a lot of like in Tribe and all these like jazzy beats. That's what this is. Like Jay Swift fucking slays this. So he's taking everything that he liked from the East Coast style, because nothing on the West Coast at this time was like this. And so he's taking the jazzy beats from like Tribe and De La Soul, and he's okay, well, we're not like them. We're not that smart. We're not that educated. But we're also not gangsters. We're not like little hood kids. We're just like normal kids, kind of. And that's what you get here. This is like the most honest thing you could. I don't know. This is one of the most honest hip hop records I think of all time.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
It's honest.
But to say that it's like so inspirational within the community.
It is.
I still don't see it because like you even said, even just like a Tribe Called Quest, they were doing the beat stuff and all the sampling, like they were doing it way better than they were doing it on this record.
I wouldn't
the
only on Low End Theory. I think this record, if we're getting like objectively, I think like Low End Theory maybe is like the best acid jazz hip hop thing ever to be created. But the beats on this is better than People's Instinctive. The beats on this is better than Marauders, for sure.
I don't think it's better than Marauders.
Absolutely.
No, I don't think so. But even like De La Soul, like that first De La Soul is better than, I feel is better than this.
But it's one dimensional. It's just the conscious hip hop of the East Coast. This takes the conscious hip hop of the East Coast, brings in a little West Coast kind of aggressive flair, because there are times on here where they do kind of like Officer. They're taking a very
Fat Lip has more of like an aggressive approach to his vocals.
So yeah, but like they're taking topics that are very very serious topics, whereas as like De La Soul is taking more of like a metaphysical approach to things, where like we needed to stand up and be different because it'll help like our lineage. Whereas like this is like, no, dude, LAPD in the 90s are out of control, and we just don't want to get pulled over because we have weed on us, and that's a real problem to like jazzy beats. Unreal, unheard of. Like no one did that. No one did that even for a long time after this. And sure as shit, no one did in the mainstream. Like you had a lot of like the underground guys like Das Effects who came out a little bit after this one too, and even like the way the Pharcyde like discombobulated, kind of like changed their own names. But like Das Effects was popular because they did like the Iggity, like don't stop, diggity, Iggity, did that kind of thing.
I don't know anything.
You ever heard that back from the 90s?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Like do what dippity or whatever. But like brand new, like there's so many like alt hip hop bands that came out in like the early 90s, mid 90s. But Pharcyde was really, they weren't the first ones, but they were really the first ones to just blow it up and just make it just their own entirely. And even like Freestyle Fellowship, like I fucking love Freestyle Fellowship. They already had an album out prior to this one, but their big one, Interstate Riots, came out after this one did. And these guys took a lot from Freestyle Fellowship because like they showed them how to freestyle and rap, because they were all just Pharcyde was just dancers up until this point.
Which is crazy. I couldn't believe that they were literally a dance group, and they were on In Living Color. Yeah. They were like the dance group on that TV show, and
a lot of hip hop artists started. Tupac started as a dancer. A lot of people started as dancers.
Dr. Dre did too, but
they're all dancers.
It's true, but I still. I mean, this is a little bit later. This is. What, NWA started in 87, 88, so this is like 4 years later. I didn't expect it from this group that they were dancers prior to this.
And then even if we're just taking everything just at face value, right? We still have 4 guys rapping on pretty much almost every song, and we'll get into it later on when they have their fucking drug dealer spit a verse on this thing, which is
who that is?
Fuck did you get? Yeah, that's their drug dealer. How did you get away with that? And I'll get into his kind of lore later on too. But like we talked about in the Beastie Boys episode, right? Like besides like Wu-Tang and the Beastie Boys, like nobody in Wu-Tang love Wu-Tang. But for the most part, outside of like 3 of them, they all like I could do without a lot of them. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah.
Like we don't need all of you there. Like I like having you all there because it's fun and the lore is great and the way you push each other was fucking amazing. But you guys don't have like, a lot of them don't have their own iconic sound. I know it's blasphemous, mass killer, fucking I can hear him a mile away. Okay, relax everybody. But here, like you can. Even the high pitched vocals like Imani, he's different than Slim Kid is. He's different than everybody else is.
He's closer to Booty Brown delivery wise, but even still, yeah, you could certainly tell the difference.
And even like their writing, like they're not just goofy kids writing just goofy lyrics. There's amazing wordplay. Like for me,
with some of them, yeah.
How they write, Fat Lip is my favorite. I love how he writes. I think he's a fucking wordsmith. I think he's amazing at what he does. I think he had a little bit of a big head and ego on him, but I like how he writes things. I think he's an amazing lyricist. Like I said, I think
great. I think he's the best lyricist. I think Trey is the best rapper, though.
Yes.
I think that's what it is. And for every song, I put down, for that particular song, I put down the best rapper, the best lyricist in that particular, or who had the best lyrics.
And best line.
Song. And, well, I didn't put best line in every single song, except for Yo Mama. Each one of those guys, I put my favorite line in that song from each of them, because it's stupid and silly and fun. But I did put special, lines or lyrics that's really stood out to me because I thought they were funny, or for whatever reason, the way that they rhymed the certain words was really well done, but not for every single song.
Good.
But anyway, I mean, I have no stinkers in the end. I have no stinkers. I have 6 bangers, and then I have 5 songs that are just they're good, but I'm never. I wouldn't playlist them. They're just good. They're good for the record. So
Okay.
let's get into your number 1 banger, your favorite song on here, which is
Soulflower. That's my favorite Pharcyde song. I only put 5 bangers, just because those are the 5 like I want to talk about, and then everything else is still a banger. But then I figured we just go into your bangers, and then maybe the song you hate the most or whatever. But yeah, Soulflower. That's my favorite. This is my favorite Pharcyde song. I fucking love this song. I love the beat, that little piano thing, that ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
I think it's an amazing sample. It's called Soulflower Remix, and it took me years to figure out what is it remixed from, right? Like what's the original version sound like? And it's not even their song. It's a brand new Heavy song, which is another fucking really dope jazz funk acid jazz band from the UK. Surprisingly, they do put out stuff that's cool in the 90s. But yeah, the Pharcyde were on the same label as they were. The Delicious, what's it called? Delicious Records, Delicious Vinyl, something like that. Yeah, they're on the same label, and so the brand new Heavies were in the studio, and they're almost done with their track, and they're like, "Do you guys want to come be on it?" I actually think it was Pharcyde's management that like, "You guys should go check them out. They're really good." And like, "Oh, we love them. They're so good," because they're already kind of popular in the underground scene. And so I think the brand new Heavies album came out like a month before the Pharcydes, and so the Pharcyde like came in just one day and just did their verse on that song, the Soulflower, from their album, like a one take, and it was just great. And then they reuse it for their own album, the remix. A lot of very, very different though. It's a very, on the brand new Heavies version, it's a very funk inspired. It's very funk driven. It's a band rather than a hip hop group. But it's cool. I don't know. And they actually did another remix of the remix, but it was only released as a 12-inch promo through Delicious Records, because it's got like 40 or 50 samples on it or some shit like that. And
Jesus.
They never put it. It was called I think it was called 2 to the 3 or 2 to the 3 or something like that mix. But you can buy it on Discogs, and I really want to fucking buy it just because I'm so curious. And even like interviews, it's like fucking $20, dude. It's not that much. Just even on interviews, they laugh. They're like, "Yeah, that was a fun thing, but like we could never put that out. There's so many samples on it.
You would never get it cleared.
Never get it cleared." And this is already like well past where like we need to get stuff cleared.
Yeah. That's good. So Soulflower, this didn't make my banger.
Oh,
my banger list. Yeah, it just did not. I don't really know why. It just, the lyrics didn't hit me the same way as the other songs. That's really what it comes down to. The lyrics, the beat. Yeah, the beat is important and the sampling is cool, but I felt like this is I was just a little too upbeat or something like that.
Oh, it's something very that just didn't. It's very poppy.
Yeah, there's just something that didn't really click with me on this one. Booty Brown, to me, has the best rapping on here, and the best lyrics as well. Booty Brown just kills it on this one.
Okay, so like, do you have certain things, because there's two? So like maybe one of their biggest like fan favorite lyrics comes off of this, and I shot him in the ass on the downstroke. Shot him in the ass on the downstroke. That's become like a fan favorite. That's one of my favorite lines. Actually, my favorite line that they've ever done is on this one, when he says, "If Magic can admit he got AIDS, fuck it, I got herpes." I think that's just like that, because Fat Lip says it. Too. Is if Magic?
That's like the last line in the whole song, right? Before you hit the outro.
If Magic can admit AIDS, fuck it, I got herpes, and then it kind of like stops a little bit, like the beat slows down, and it goes like, "Damn, oh shit," and then it gets like, "Damn, that's serious," and then like, "Oh, okay, shit," and then, ooh,
Fat Lip also has, in this song, he sings he raps in like a higher register too. Like he doesn't do it. It's different for him. He sounds closer to Booty Brown than he does himself.
Especially when he's going into like the perm. Like, yes, I can't from Cali. No, I do not have a perm.
Yeah. And what is cool about this is that a lot of these songs have like a general theme of what they're talking about, but each guy has their own verse to rap about what their kind of like views are regarding the theme of the song, or like this song's not a great example of that, but if it's a hype song,
yeah, no, you're right. that's what they do. This song is just them introducing themselves because it was this already a thing for a different band, so they needed to come out hard for the other thing on the brand new heavies, and so they're just introducing themselves, and they're all introducing themselves in a different way, in their own way.
True. Well, I guess I was, my example was more for like the song "Passing Me By," where there is a theme to that song, but then each member has their own story that goes along with that theme, which I really like, and that's how a lot of these songs are, and that's what I thought was really cool about this record, and also that fact that they don't take themselves that seriously. The lyrics aren't super deep most of the time, and I also like that not every song is like a hype song about themselves or the group. Like there are songs that are a little bit deeper that kind of talk about their emotions or kind of how they feel about society, but not on a deep level. That's a lot of conscious hip hop acts were doing at the time. So there's some cool shit here. I do like there's two lines in Booty Brown's verse where he goes, you have to hear it to understand like how cool it sounds and how he delivers it, but it's when he says, "People promise you bowl of cherries, but don't forget there are pits. No hints, it's quicks. It's like water and grits." Like the way he just strings all that,
it's like water and grits.
Like the way he just draws out both of those lines together is just fucking so cool and so smooth. So yeah, Booty Brown just takes the cake for me on this particular song.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay. He opens it up. I like the bridge. I need a zigzag, zigzag.
Yeah,
I think that's funny. But I'm telling you, man, the shot him in the ass and the downstroke thing is just. I remember
it's a
being
cool
a kid.
Line.
And I know it comes. I read that it comes from like some Richard Pryor. There's a lot of Richard Pryor samples all over this fucking. I think almost every single song has some Richard Pryor sample, where it's just him talking. Even like the "oh shit" thing, that's a Richard Pryor thing. They took from like a stand-up thing where he's like, "oh shit," and they thought that's so funny, and they did like, "let's do that." Just fucking, that's just cool, man. Like, not everything has to be so fucking aggressively like complex and deep. And even though like these topics aren't so, deep thought, pontificating, driven, they're still good storytellers.
Yeah,
they're good storytellers.
No, they are good storytellers.
Their rhyming is still fucking top notch. They're not just doing like we talked about last year with the Beastie Boys, and it's not just like end rhymes, but there's a lot of like lazy rhymes. There's a lot of like internal rhymes. There's a lot of like I don't know, limericks where the one A BBA thing, and I know they're really cool. It's just I don't know. I think people brush them off with a stroke. It's just like that's just that goofy fucking band from the early '90s I talked about. That one guy got his dick sucked by a tranny, and that's who the band is. And like I've read like people like just say like that's that band that did this because that was a bit. I sent you the video, and I don't know. We'll get into that later. Did you watch that video?
I did not watch. I forgot to watch the video. I did forget to watch.
So every time I say that he got his dick sucked by a tranny, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, no, because there's one song where he kind of like implies that.
What happened?
So that's why I was laughing, because I figured that's what you were talking about.
That is the song, yes, but it Fat Lip goes into detail, and it's really funny. It's funny.
Okay, all right. So my favorite song, my number one banger, is "Oh Shit."
Oh,
the second track, really the first like real song on the record. I like the simple kind of sample, that boom, boom. It's just very kind of simple, basic, straightforward. The drums, the drum beat is just like the open hi-hat, just a straightforward beat. But the rapping, the rhyming, the lyrics are great. I mean, the lyrics are pretty much, each guy has their own verse, obviously, but it's just them talking about like getting caught with a girl. Actually, I don't think Booty Brown actually doesn't have a verse on here, but the other three guys do. But each one has their own story of getting caught while they're having sex with a girl. So it's
their own oh shit moment.
Their own oh shit moment. So Trey, he's fucking his girl, gets caught by everyone in school. He's having sex with her out on the field or football field or something, gets caught by everybody in the school. And then Imani, he's having sex with a girl and caught by her boyfriend. And then Fat Lip, he's hooking up with a girl, but then realizes she's actually a dude after he sees their giant feet.
Dude.
But the way he tells the story, like, Fat Lip is my favorite. He has my favorite lyrics on this one. Trey is my favorite rapping verse. My favorite verse when it comes to the rapping. But the way that Fat Lip tells the story is it's great, man.
Just
it's fucking great.
Yeah, okay. So like, let's go back a little bit. It's a Donald Byrd sample. That ding,
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's a Donald Byrd sample. So if you know Donald Byrd, classic guy that a lot of hip hop artists sample from. They all have their own oh shit moment. And you're right, Fat Lip, the way he delivers his based on the source material is he picks up a prostitute and Crenshaw and tries to take her to the beach, and she won't let him fill her titties, and so he's all mad because she's sucking his dick, and he's like, oh, what the fuck is this bullshit? Turns out like it's a guy. And in the video, actually, it's always weird because the video that I sent you, it was a small documentary that Spike Jonze was filming Fat Lip after the Pharcyde, but using a lot of previous videos that they had filmed throughout the years. But in the video, like he's so fucking honest, right? And that's just, I don't know. You don't get that kind of honesty from anybody in the hip hop world, especially in the 90s. There's no fucking way. If this had happened to Jay-Z, if this had happened to Dre, there is no fucking way they would tell a soul. They would probably kill that person. But here he is at the very end of the video. He's like, yeah, a man sucked my dick. What do you he laughs, and then you laugh. You're like, oh my God, that's crazy, dude. But the way he says it, right? He says, I got a funny feeling like something was real wrong. Looked at her shoes, and her feet were real long. It's like, oh my God, dude, that makes me laugh so fucking hard.
It's also
but
like
her feet was real long. Like he's
it's
actually
such a
telling you
like
story.
it's such a child way of saying that too. Like that rhyme just sounds so elementary, but it works. But he pulls it off.
But yeah, you're right. Slim Kid does have, I think he has the best verse, the best flow. The wordplay, right? The alliteration and killer, thriller, driller, tiller, miller, brew. It's just like, damn,
Filler
bro,
up,
you just
took it to,
like,
dude. I know I wrote that down. It was that line, and then the next one, filler up, took it till the damn Dutch puked.
Yeah,
like that. Just that whole lead up into that part too was just so fucking good.
It's an incredible like first verse, and just how he opened like a little Sally Walker is sitting in a salsa. Oh, how I toss, and they all go ass up, right? The Beastie Boys thing where they all coming together, ass up. Damn, what a fucking
all
opener.
The Beastie Boys do.
That's all they do. Fucking boring as fuck. Imani, he had said this is his favorite song to do whenever they would play it live, because they all cuss so much in it, and they all say, oh, it's fun to cuss and say bad words on stage, and it's just really fun. So I get it. But it's funny because his verse is about like somebody's mom, like he's having sex with somebody's mom, and the friend or whoever walks in, and like you're just shocked, right? And then in Imani's verse, he kind of sets it up to like, well, like this guy was like mad, dude, but all he said was, oh shit. And he's like, oh yeah. Like, I guess like that's the first thing you probably would say. It's like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
Funny. It's funny.
It is. Very funny.
It's funny.
It's a goodie.
That is my top. That's in my top 5. That's my 3B though.
Good. So are we just doing, what did you say earlier? Are we just doing my bangers?
Yeah, let's do your bangers, and then if there's one that I have too that I want to talk about, then I'll throw that in there, and then we'll do the artwork, and then it's about fucking it, son.
Okay, so my number 2 is Yamama.
Yamama.
That is my number 2. It's
dude,
fun.
so
I mean,
fucking,
obviously it's silly as fuck. It's silly as fuck.
But like
it's
you're
so
saying,
silly.
I mean, like it's not very whatever. It's pretty childish and stupid. I don't like it.
So silly. It's so silly, but it's fun, and some of the lines are great. So I did write down my favorite line from each verse from each guy, because all 4 of them have their own verse. I'll say this right now too: Fat Lip has the best rap. Best lyrics go to Trey. That's where I stand on this one.
Okay.
But Fat Lip starts with his he's the first verse. The end of his verse, her knuckles drag down to the ground when she walk. Spit comes out that bitch mouth when she talk. That is so aggressive.
Disrespectful.
It's so aggressive.
And what's
damn, it's so funny.
What's
the
cool
fact that
about
he says
this?
That bitch mouth.
That spit comes out that bitch mouth when she, and that's like the most aggressive thing on the whole fucking song too. Yes. And that's what's so good about these fucking Yamama things, right? Because maybe this just speaks to like our generation, but that's how we told Yamama, like, your mama's so fat she sat on a rainbow and made Skittles, right? We never like, you never actually went after someone's mom. Like, you never actually said bad words. You never said anything like really disrespectful, right? You just said like she's so fat she thought a school bus was a Twinkie. You say stupid shit like that that is just so dumb that any 12-year-old would fucking laugh. And that's what this is, except for that spit that comes out that bitch mouth. But the way he says it is just so fucking funny because he's just trying to get it out as fast as possible. It doesn't really rhyme. It's like whatever. It's kind of lazy in the end. Yeah, it's good. You're right. Continue.
And so Fat Lip has the best line on the whole song, but consistency matters. And Trey does have consistently. He has the best lyrics on this song, but I'll get into him in a bit. But so we get Booty Brown, the second verse. The best line to me was, "She's not pretty, oh, what a pity, got the glass titty, filled up with Kool-Aid just for the kiddies."
Just for the kiddies.
That's wild. Like this on so many, I mean, the way he rhymed all those words and made it just so cohesive, and then the whole Kool-Aid thing is just like, what the fuck, dude?
Like I said, my favorite from Booty Brown is the opener. Your mama looks like she's been in the dryer with some rocks. Like, what does that even mean, dude? You know what I mean? Like, she cut up? Like, what does that even mean? But then he says, with the big bust nose sucking dirt out of socks. And that's just like, that makes no sense. It doesn't mean anything, but it's still fucking disrespectful and disgusting, right? Yeah, that's a good one. But then they also all have the same chorus, right? The chorus is the same for everybody. But then, like you said earlier, they all say it in a different way. They all kind of accentuate words in a different way from each other, and they make it their own. I think it's amazing.
Like 2 of the 5 lines are different from one another, and they kind of add their own thing, their own flair to it. Like I think it was Trey. His last line was like, your mama's got an afro, and she uses it as a chin strap, or she has an afro and a chin strap.
Mama's got an afro with a chin strap. Too.
That's not my favorite line of his, but that was a good one too.
Dude, Booty Brown, his line is so good. Your mama's got the wooden legs with the real feet. What?
It doesn't make any sense.
And he almost says your mama's got a wooden leg with a kickstand. A
peg
leg
Imani,
with a
right?
kickstand. Yeah. Mama's got a peg leg with a kickstand.
But so Imani, Imani is my least favorite. I think he's the worst of the rappers. I think he's the worst lyricist. I think he's very one-dimensional when it comes to his lyrics. Not to say he's bad, but I think he's the worst, and he has the highest voice.
Yeah,
and it's a little grating sometimes.
He comes out hard usually. He's very ad rock in that. He comes out really hard.
It comes out hard, aggressive, and just sexualizes everything.
Yeah,
like everything has a sexual connotation or take on it. So that's what I'm saying. Like he's very kind of one-dimensional. But the line here, this is my least favorite line. But even still, you said your mom's was pretty and young, but she's old as dirt and got hair on her tongue.
Oh.
Like what the fuck? And then Trey, his, like I said, I think he's consistently the best on this one. Almost every line is noteworthy. But this one's a little bit. There's like 3 lines here, but I got stuck in her butt crack. They thought I was lost, but I was caught by the G-strap. Heaven forbid a giant fart would give way, because that would blow me around the world in a day.
Like, dude, have you ever heard a rapper say the word fart?
Or
honestly,
butt crack?
Ever?
I think butt crack is like the more
fart is not gangster. That is not serious.
Oh, it's not.
That's wild. But like the way he says it, right? And her skates went flat. I got stuck in her butt crack. The thought I was lost, but the caught by the G-strap. Like the way he gets more excited the more he rhymes on that crack strap. But again, lazy rhymes, right? Crack and strap don't rhyme. Those aren't 2 things. No. But the way he says it does rhyme, and we'll get more into that too of the course of the album.
Eminem loves doing that.
They all love their lazy rhymes, and that's cool. I think they call them. I think they're called slant rhymes. I forget technical. I think they call them lazy rhymes. But yeah, it's fucking hilarious. And then we drove through the drive-thru and she didn't have to pay because he dressed her up to look like a Chevrolet. Doesn't make sense, but it's making fun of how big she is and that she gets free food because she's big, right? That's all. And then
wasn't he say like we ran up her back to get to Wendy's or something like that?
Yeah, we rode up on her back to get burgers from Wendy's, and her skates were flat. I got stuck in her butt crack. Like just ragged on this girl. God. But then we get to the good part, the outro, right, where there's kind of like fucking shit talking each other. And then my favorite line from this is the very, very end when he says, "Your mama's an extra on The Simpsons." That's what he says in one. That's what somebody says to another one. Is "Your mama's an extra on The Simpsons." kid always thought, oh, that's a good one right there. That's a good one.
Just because you like The Simpsons.
Man, because The Simpsons just have some stupid fucking side characters that are just I would not want to be compared to. That's good.
It's good. It's a really fun song. Very, very fun song.
This was a pretty contentious song for them too at the time when it came out. This one got them a lot of heat from like the hip hop community. People were like this is stupid. You don't fucking know what you're talking about. But it pretty much like cemented them as the like anti-gangster rap group, even though they're not anti-gangster rap, because at no point do they ever talk about it. And like I think fucking Slim Kid, one of them has like a gun charge on him. Like he had he went to jail for a gun charge in LA at some point, because they're from the hood still, right? They're still from the fucking hood, so you still probably have to have a gun in the 90s.
Two of them are. I think Trey and
Imani's from Compton.
Imani, yeah.
Imani's from Compton for sure.
Trey is from L.A. and then I think Booty Brown is from Altadena, which is like, you know, a suburb, fucking middle of nowhere, especially at the time, middle of nowhere. And then I forgot where fucking Fat Lip was from, but
probably the dumpsters or the sewers. He just seems like the grimiest. Like I love reading his lyrics. I love singing along, but he definitely seems like the grimiest of them all.
I would say so. Yeah, especially when he does like that whole kind of horror movie thing in one of his verses.
Oh, dude, that thing is wild.
Yeah,
even in that verse. We'll talk about
we'll get into that. But are we good with Yo Mama?
Yeah, we're good with Yo Mama.
Okay. So my 3B, Passing Me By, the song right after. This one I like because the kind of theme here is kind of lusting or loving a girl who is out of your league that you know you can't get, but you still kind of just you're in love with them, obsessed with them, and they all have their own story. Each guy has their own story here, and it's all the stories are very, very different. So like Booty Brown, it's about him being a kid, being hot for teacher, and always trying to get her attention. And he just like describes like how he feels about her and how good she smells and all that kind of stuff. That's Booty Brown's verse. Trey is talking about a girl he grew up with, and he's always fancied her. And now that they're older, she still doesn't even know his true feelings. She barely even knows who he is. He's just kind of like obsessed over her and stalked her since they were kids. Imani comes in, and he wants this girl, and he loves her, but she has like some dumbass boyfriend. He knows he's a total fucking shitbag dumbass.
He was a Rudy Toot.
Rudy Toot. There we go. Those lyrics are so stupid.
It's like, who says that? What rap artist fucking says that? Nobody.
And then Fat Lip is kind of like the sad one. He's obsessed with this girl. She has no idea he exists. He writes this heartfelt letter, and the way he describes the letter too is really good. And then at the very end, he says, "And then I sent it to her, and then she returned it to sender." Or I wrote this letter. She returned it to sender.
Yeah, and but he gets all like romantic about it, right? Then I signed sincerely, the one who loves you dearly. P.S. Love me tender. But the letter came back 3 days later. Returned to sender.
That's
damn.
That's right. It was good.
Not afraid to just be like made fun of, even like that. That's so vulnerable. That's so fucking vulnerable. But he does have my favorite line of the song, Fat Lip, his opener, which is, "Now there she goes again, the dopest Ethiopian. Now the world around me begins moving slow motion when," and then he continues on. But like Ethiopian rhyming with motion, But then you add the when after the motion in slow motion when Ethiopian. That's crazy. That's so good.
Yeah, that does work. And like he's
the best. I don't know. I think he's the best lyricist in the group, and I think it's kind of the difference between like Big Boy and Dre and like Outkast. I think the Fat Lip and Slim Kid, like you can make that comparison between the two because Slim Kid's very, very straightforward most of the time, but then he gets in those fast, like we're talking the Miller Killer Thriller, right? Like that's just, like he just spits it out so fast and just so perfectly. I don't know, passing me by. So apparently this are you done with your talk there?
I was just gonna say best rap, best lyrics on this one, Fat Lip, and I was also gonna say the samples on here. I love the main sample. It sounds like GoldenEye, the James Bond movie.
I think it's a Quincy Jones. I'm pretty sure it's a Quincy Jones, like early 70s sample.
Okay. Yeah, I did really like that. I love the sample that they used. I thought it gave it like this like kind of darkness to the overall tone of the song.
It is very like Damn level James Bond, right? Like just drippy. Yeah. But also there's a part too where in the song "Are You Experienced" by Jimi Hendrix, there's like a chicka chicka that they use, or that Jimi Hendrix did in the song, but they sample that chicka chicka and kind of like modulate a little bit, and it's throughout this whole song. So when you hear something that could be sample or sound like a guitar chicka, that's Hendrix on there. That's kind of cool.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like they made a music video for this. It's black and white. They had big ideas for this one, but the money just was not there in the beginning. And so they had like a checklist of like 15 things that they wanted to do, and then Delicious Records like nope. So everything but one, and it was the Upside Down. Did you watch the video for this one?
I actually didn't watch any of the videos.
They're all I can explain them, and you'll be like, oh, I get it. It's a black and white video. It's very, very basic. It's just them rapping, and there's a background behind them. The big takeaway from this is they do a upside down effect. So like in Suicidal, when they're hanging from the little thing in the park or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of the same
like
thing
the
here.
Jungle Gym.
Yeah, the jungle gym. They're hanging from something, but the camera pans in so you can't see their legs, so it looks like they're right side up, and the camera flips over, and the background's upside down. And that was the big like practical effect that they could afford at the time. It does look really cool for the early '90s, and because it's black and white, you don't see a lot of like the nuance and texture. So it doesn't look like shit. It looks cool. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But another big takeaway was apparently MTV at this time, they were going to put a lot of money into picking up a new hip hop group to push into the summer of '93. That's when this would have been there, and they submitted the video for that. So it became down to the Pharcyde and Onyx, but Onyx won, and then they got promoted. The bad was it Fuck You Up, Bad Fuck You Up, something like that. Da 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 da.
Oh,
boom.
That song.
That
song.
So
okay, I know
sick.
that. I forgot about
Slam.
that song. Wow.
It's called Slam. Yeah, Slam. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Fucking good song. Oh yeah, that
it is a good
song. That song went out over this one, even though I think this song is a better song, but that song's still dope.
All right, so we go with passing me by.
Yeah.
Okay, so my 4B, fourth banger. I'm that type of ninja. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm that type of ninja. This is a massive. It has like a
4B too.
Good. Massive beat. The intro and outro are just an earworm. The well, excuse me. Yeah, it's just it's so catchy. So catchy. And they just I think they all kind of kill it and nail it. Fat Lip and Imani, they get the first two verses. They're just talking about women and just how they go wild for them. This is really a hype song about them. And that's what they both talk about, is just like how women love them, and they're just so smooth and all that. And then Buck 50 is on this one.
Buckwheat.
So Buck 50, what?
Buckwheat.
Is it Buckwheat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Buckwheat. Buckwheat's on this. He does the third verse. Trey does the fourth verse, and yeah, it's just them. They're hyping themselves up, and that they're the baddest motherfucker. That they'll just kill anybody and steal their girl and all that kind of shit. So there's nothing too deep here. It's a hype song. That's what it is. But it's just the way that they rap, and there's some great lines which I'll get into. But yeah, okay. I think this is a killer song.
Good. There's 5 verses on this one, right? Because now we got Buckwheat. Buckwheat was their friend from New York and moved to L.A.
Oh yeah, Booty Brown does a verse too. He does the last verse.
Yeah, he moved there early on, so they would always ask him, because this is early '90s again. Like, don't forget, and when you're in the hip hop world, the East Coast versus West Coast beef is like in full effect. And so when you're rapping, you are curious as to how it's going to be perceived on the East Coast, because you still want to tour, and you still like a lot of East Coast rappers, right? Like everybody likes like the native tongues, like everybody likes Tribe, everybody likes Queen Latifah. So you're still worried about like how the East Coast is going to perceive your rapping. So they would ask Buckwheat, like what do New Yorkers think about this? So he was kind of like their conciliary to the East Coast scene. But yeah, they're all flexing here about just kind of how tough they are, but not using like tough terms. What's interesting what's interesting about this one is that the excuse me, I think that's an original thing that recorded. It sounds like it's by girls, and so if you go on like Genius, it says it's recorded by the Jazzy Fat Nasties, which is a girl group. What the fuck? It's a female fronted vocal duo thing from the 90s, but there's like nothing written about them. They're not credited on Discogs or anything else. But I did notice that one of the members, original member, her name was Mercedes Martinez. And I was like, okay, that's whatever. Who cares about that? But then Juan Martinez, that's J Swift. And I was like, that Martinez is not an uncommon name in Southern California. But I did find that kind of interesting, right? Like maybe that's a sister, maybe that's like a cousin or something like that. Because it does sound like that excuse me thing. Like how, like, I don't know. It seems a little bit too on the nose, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we can get into the verses here because Fat Lip and Booty Brown have some of my favorites.
Yeah, Fat Lip and Trey have my two favorites, but Fat Lip takes the cake. The best lyrics. Trey has the best rapping, but Fat Lip has the best lyrics on this song. But yeah, what do you got for that?
So Fat Lip, Fat Lip, my favorite line is "Never been a bitch, so I don't act bitchy. Smooth on the vinyl like Lionel Richie." That's the last line, right? That is intentionally just like dumb. That is intentionally just like so bottom of the barrel basic. How can I rhyme bitchy with something? Oh, Lionel Richie. Fuck yeah, I'll use that. I'm not a bitch, so I don't act bitchy. And that's, I don't know. For me, that reminds me of a bitch is a bitch is a bitch is a bitch thing from way back when. But yeah, that's my favorite line of the thing. But that's from Fat Lip.
I do like that. My favorite it's two lines from him, but when he says douse you with my lyrical liquid for this hip hop era, so I suggest you fetch an umbrella for my reign of terror. Like the way it's so good the way he fucking raps it. I obviously completely butchered it, but it just sounds so great when he fucking says it. He's so smooth. The way he just forms those words and delivers them is fucking great, fantastic.
Yeah,
but
and all over just like this I don't know, not poppy beat, but very, very upbeat, very pop forward kind of sample kind of beats. Mm-hmm. It's good. Imani's got a good one too. I'm dark like chocolate and flow like milk. Like he's like fucking Muhammad Ali over here, right? I think that's but like that's Imani, very very textbook kind of like goofy. Yeah. Like, how do I make a goofy song? Like this is it. But I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was fun. Trey, also I like his where he says, that type of ninja with the ice cold heart, Chilly Willy, don't be silly, I'll take your Philly.
Chilly Willy.
Chilly Willy, don't be silly, I'll take your Philly.
He also has another good one too in that one. He says, and I'm the type of ninja that'll roll up my sleeves. I'll roll my sleeves, and then next line, up if there's a tussle, right? Because I'm the type of ninja that'll roll my sleeves up, but you can't rhyme up right there. So roll my sleeves up if there's a tussle. I'm down to kick some butthole. But he says butthole. I'm going to kick some, not kick some ass. I'm going to kick some butthole.
Some butthole.
So, like, dude, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? And like, that's just like these little instances.
It's kind of the charm of them.
It's so easy, like thrown away. Like, dude, you can't. So you're supposed to be a tough man, right? You shouldn't say butthole. Say kick ass. But like, no. They're still young. When they started recording this, they're like 19, 20. Like they're still young.
They were that young? I didn't realize they were that young.
I think when it came out, they were probably like 22. But like I think when they started doing because a lot of these songs were on their first demo before they got signed. Like Officer was on there. I think Passing Me By was on there, and one more. But yeah, they were like 19, 20 when that first demo got them signed. I think it was Passing Me By that got them signed.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. Or Quinn.
I believe
Who
you.
knows? But yeah, then if go back to Buckwheat. Buckwheat, he's East Coast guy. He raps like he's from the East Coast. He's very, very aggressive, very, very Wu-Tang sounding, very like RZA, very just deliberate, boom, 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 boom. But he says it's a little more hard than everybody else, but not much goofiness to it. But I did think it was funny when he says he'll catch a bullet in his teeth. It's just like that's stupid, right? That's goofy. But then Booty Brown, man, Booty Brown's got the best verse, got the best, rife with goofy things like kick you in your pee-pee. That's funny. And he says, I'm the one that kicks your daddy in the nuts. That's why your mental state was fucked before you hit your mama's guts.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's pretty wild right there, right?
That's a good one.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm a bitch, so I kicked your dad in his balls. That's why you're fucked up. Like, that's so stupid.
It is so stupid.
Good.
All right. So, do we have anything else on that one?
No.
No. All right. So my number, what is it? Will be 5, I think, on my banger list.
We're deep here, kid.
Yeah. So my number 5 is For Better or For Worse.
Yeah, this is
That's kind
of a weird one.
It's a very straightforward beat, but it's kind of the lyrics and the silliness of it that I like so much. So it's just 3 of them. It's Trey, Imani, and Fat Lip. Those 3 verses. Trey, it's about he's talking about falling in love, marrying the girl, and having kids. Very straightforward. Imani talking about a girl who seduced him, and now he can't get enough of her. And then Fat Lip comes in completely fucking unhinged, talking about killing the girl, eating her brains, and it's done like very kind of like Scream, where he's like talking to her over the phone, like she answers the phone, and
got the channel separation too between the two. They're talking
exactly, and it's out of control. It's fucking out of control.
It is fucking out of control. This is one of my least favorite songs. If I was to rank all of them,
Okay.
This would be towards the bottom. The only reason why I like it a lot is because of Fat Lip's part, just because it's unhinged, and like, dude, the line where he says, "What up your pussy with my fist," and even everyone's like, "Wait, what? What the fuck?" Well, hold on. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. That's too much. That's too far. That's too far." Like even in the song, Fat Lip kind of says that went too far. It's just okay. That's crazy. I think I've gone a little bit overboard. I'm gonna call the cops. Fuck you! Don't call my house. I think that's funny. But it's cool. Like Jay Swift does a lot on this song. A lot of the beats here, a lot of things you hear here, because he played. From what I read, he was a good keyboard player. Like he may not be like a virtuoso or whatever, but he was good at making melodies on the keyboards, and so translating that to his production and his samples and everything. A lot of his original ideas and sounds are on this song. I think the chorus is a James Brown sample, and then that eerie horn piece is a Lou Donaldson sample. But then, cool, we get Black Sheep shout out, right? You can deal with this, or you can deal with that. Fucking huge song, huge album that came out just like the year before this one. I think I told you that one. I kept telling you to listen to that specific album for a long time. I don't know if you ever did the Black Sheep album.
I think I did when we did the hip hop season. I'm pretty sure I did.
Because that was what I thought, like for sure you would have liked. Because it's good.
I do remember listening, but I don't remember what I thought about it.
Okay.
Just saying.
It's a funny song. Like the first couple verses are just a little bit more traditional about marrying a girl, and Fat Lip just comes out with this outer space nonsense. It's just what the fuck are you doing, dude? And they did a video for this one. They did it themselves. They filmed it themselves. They edited themselves, and this is the one that they all loved. They all loved how it came out. It's not very good, but it's very in line with Pharcyde, right? Like they did it themselves, and they love the video, and it's something they are proud of, and that's fucking cool.
Yeah,
good for them.
No, that's good. I like when bands like this take the initiative and make their own videos. Like Beastie Boys did that too. You know, MCA, he directed a lot of their videos. Just like, you know, fuck the label, fuck, you know, the press and all that. Let's just do everything ourselves. Take all of our own press photos, all of our own music videos, everything. Produce our own music. Let's just fucking do it. I'd love that. Let's just do it. It's great.
There's a tie to this group and Beastie Boys too, is through like the Dust Brothers, and specifically one guy outside of the Dust Brothers. I can't fucking remember his name, but he worked on Paul's Boutique. But the people that started Delicious Vinyl was one of the guys that connects with the Dust Brothers in some capacity. I can't remember what his name was, like Mike Dyke or something like that. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I take my word for it. That's it.
And then my last banger, my 6B is Officer.
Don't pull me up, Mister. Do you like that line "discombobulated" by your boy?
Yeah, doesn't he like?
I'm discombobulated
because he can't say it. Like he can't even say it right. Like he says it 3 different times and he can't even say it right.
He's all fucked up.
It's so good. Great fucking beat. This is the closest thing they've ever gotten to gangster rap on this record. All the delivery from all 4 of them are more aggressive than they would normally do. But yeah, no, I think Officer is a great one. It has and it makes sense, like having this more aggressive tone, because kind of the theme of this song is how cops racially profile them, and how they all tell their own story of being scared of like going out on the town, or like driving around because they're afraid of the cops pulling him over. And then Trey has the last verse, and he says cops are following and pulling him over, and how scared he is of it. But it starts out with Fat Lip talking about how bad of a day he had because the what is it, like the IRS or the DMV like calls him and tells him like his car has no registration or some shit like that. And then Booty Brown gets picked up by one of his buddies, just afraid that the cops are going to harass him when they're just driving around because they're black. And then Amani talks about driving up in a fucked up old car with just like fucking smoke going everywhere, no registration, just a piece of shit beat up car. And then, like I said, Trey's verse is about the cops following him and getting pulled over and how scared he is. So it's like it tells this kind of like disjointed story, but with the same kind of theme there, which is great. I thought it was great. Trey, to me, best rap, best lyrics on this track.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still going with Fat Lip on this one. So it opens up, right? They're making fun of, they're not making fun of because they love Public Enemy. But it opens up with, I would assume it's probably Imani or Slim Kid doing the Flavor Flav impression, and then going into which Fat Lip does the Chuck D impression. But that's the opener of the album. Is they're kind of poking fun at Public Enemy, but not really poking because they're idols. But that's a Public Enemy song. Is when I got a letter from the government, opened it up and said they were suckers. But here it's like I got a letter from the DMV, which is like such a fucking all the way down the totem pole, right?
Wait, was it DMV or IRS? No, I can't even.
No, it was the DMV for Pharcyde, but for Public Enemy, Chuck D said it was from the government, and I opened it up and it said they were suckers. But here it's from the DMV, which is like it's just stupid. You know what I mean? Like no one's afraid of the fucking DMV. Actually, everyone's kind of afraid to go to the DMV, and DMV actually has a lot of fucking power for some reason. I don't know why they do. Yeah. But I think that's funny. But Fat Lip Fat Lip again has some cool fucking lines here. He says that I never even got the damn letter. It's 9:00 on the dot, so I think I'd better. But the way he stretches I to rhyme with 9, he said that I never even got the damn letter. It's 9:00 on the dot, so I'd be better. It's just like, what the fuck, dude? In mid rhyme right there, right? You know what I mean? Like just internal rhymes just at their max, just to make sure that you know that he's pretty fucking good at what he does. I think it's unreal. I think it's amazing. Fat Lip is so goddamn good.
He is great.
But yeah, it's just this song's about just the police officer, and we've talked about it numerous times. Just LAPD in the 90s, there was no rules.
I mean, there's probably
from 70s,
even
80s,
decades
90s.
before that.
Yeah, there's no rules. But 90s for sure. That at least like because we know someone who has a family relative member that was in the LAPD in the 70s, and the stories that we've heard that person say is like, damn, bro, that would not
wild stories.
You probably would be in jail for some of the shit you just said.
I don't even think that shit would have really, it wouldn't have flew back then in the 70s, 80s.
I don't know, like going to the police academy too, I heard a lot of stories from some of those old crusty guys, and whenever someone tells you a story in a capacity where you're not like in the inner circle, right? The meet the parents inner circle. If someone tells you the story that's out here, you assume the story that should go on in here is probably a lot worse. So there was no rules back then. LAPDs do whatever you want, but whatever. But then the 90s, right? The 90s camcorders are involved now, and so everybody knows Rodney King incident. Yeah, that's where we're at here in the 90s. Officer.
This happened. I mean, this was written right when Rodney King happened, right?
Yeah, this came out in 92. Yeah, so Rodney King was 92, wasn't it?
92, yeah, it was 92. Yeah. So it must have just happened.
But like that wasn't just an isolated incident. That was leading up to it, and Rodney King was like the last straw. It wasn't just like that happened all of a sudden.
Led to the riots.
Let's throw shit through windows.
But not the Koreans though. Koreans fucked people up.
They did. They had guns.
That shit's crazy. Like reading all the Korean stories are crazy. They defended all their businesses. Nobody fucked with the Koreans then.
I mean, we talk about it too, but they have businesses close together, and they all had guns, and they all were like, dude, call everybody. Let's stay up on the roofs and just doing shifts and kill people if they come too close.
Yeah.
Which, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm going to I like my business a lot. I don't know if I'm going to kill a bunch of people.
But I mean, that's their
stealing
But I
records,
think that's
but-
their livelihood.
I get it.
It's literally their livelihood. Like, and these
get
people
it.
have like families, and it's. I mean, I know you have a family too, but
I get it, but like, I don't know, man. It's just stuff, dude.
it was a different time, and a lot of these people were like they were straight up immigrants. Like if they lost everything, like that's it. Like they're fucked.
But they're in
They
LA.
lose their business, they're fucked.
And even like social
But
programs in LA in the 90s was still pretty damn good.
It was still good, but I mean, I get why they wanted to protect what they had.
I get it too. I don't know. I'll never know what it's like, hopefully, but it's just stuff, man.
So that's the end of my bangers. Those are all my bangers.
Okay, we pretty much got through like everything.
So there's 11 songs that are. I mean, if you take out the interludes and the intro, there's 11 songs. Two of the songs aren't really worth talking about.
They serve a purpose, for better or for worse. It sets up the later one, and also opens. So like the cassette that came out, for better or for worse, opens up side A of the cassette, and then later on, Pack the Pipe opens side B of the cassette. So that's why they exist, is to put you back in the mindset as you're flipping the cassette over, which I think is kind of cool. That's a very that's something that we don't experience anymore, and probably hopefully never will. Cassettes are just fucking stupid.
Yeah, cassettes are the worst.
They're dumb. But yeah, otherwise we don't. If I were, I guess going back to the top, it's Jigaboo Time. That's a fucking funny skit. Super deep jazzy beats, but it's a skit. But it's funny, right? It's fucking funny.
It's funny. It's funny.
This was actually going to be the name of their band before they settled on Pharcyde. They were going to call themselves like the Jigaboos, and everybody around was like, "Dude, no,
don't do that.
That is not good."
I don't even know
why?
if you
It's
should
funny.
be saying it.
It's an aggressive derogatory term. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the fuck do I know? But it is like the way they say it is really funny. But like the whole point of the song is basically like it opens up the first line, right? When you sign across the line, it's Jigaboo time. You're now working for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's straight to the point. Like even they know, like 2 tracks in, like this is what we want to do with our lives, but we're always going to have to do something for somebody else. We're never going to have full artistic control over our music. And it is
and that's another weird thing too. They never really signed to a major label. I think they got some like distribution through Capitol Records, but they were never they stuck with this label, Delicious Vinyl, for their first 3 records. And this record was huge amongst the underground scene. It sold 500,000 copies within a couple of years. I mean, this is something that a normal label would pick up, a band or a group that a normal label would pick up. But they never did.
So Mike Dyke, D-I-K-E, I don't know if that's how you say his name, but they mention his name later on in the album. He's a guy that has connections to the Dust Brothers, and he worked on Paul's Boutique and stuff. And so I think he was a big reason they signed with Delicious. I think if they had gone with a bigger label, had they gone with like Atlantic or Capitol or something like that, I think this could have been 4 times as big. Videos would have been better. It would have been pushed. Like they for sure would have lost that fucking shit to MTV over Onyx, even though I still think that's a great song and a great album. This would have been huge had they had big corporate money behind it, but they didn't care that much. They literally just didn't give a shit. And reading about like the recording process, like they fought hard, dude. They like fist fought over things where it'd be like, I don't like that sample over my verse. Like you need to cut that out. And then Jay Swift would be like, no, I'm not cutting that shit out. And then like the 4 guys would fight. They would like, let's take this shit outside. And they would fight. They would fist fight. They'd punch each other and get on the floor and like beat the shit out of each other and come back in like, all right, he's right. Take it out. And that's like part of the reason why Jay Swift quit, because he was like, what the fuck? You guys are so unprofessional. This is not how this is supposed to be. And he couldn't take it anymore. But yeah, I don't know. This is cool. But yeah, I like that song. If I Were President, that's a good one. On the DL, that's a good one. Pack the Pipe, that's a funny one.
That's like a bottom tier. Like I'd be fine if that wasn't on there. And same with the last song.
Dude. Pack the Pipe's funny because it's again, dude, Fat Lib's verse is just wild. It's just like, what do you fucking like, you're giving a joint to a little 4-year-old, and even though it's tongue in cheek, but it's funny because in there Fat Lip is talking to this 4-year-old. He says, I said, come here, you little man, and with his little hand he grabbed the pipe. It's so funny the way he says, come here, little man, and with his little hand. That's just funny. I thought that was cute. Other Fish is good. This is like a weird solo cut from Slim Kid.
This was my least favorite actually on the record.
This one caused a huge. This is the only one not produced by Jay Swift, and this one caused. Jay Swift is pretty much already gone at this point. But this one caused a big riff in the band because he did a video for this, and this video cost him like $80,000, which is like a big chunk of their budget. And Fat Lip is not in the video because I'm not fucking being in this video because I'm not even in the fucking song, so I'm not doing it. And it was very divisive for the guys and the early kind of like crack in their band leading to their splits. But then Quentin, I want to talk about Quentin. Then we get over with Pack the Pipe, and then Return to B-Boy, which is their homage to the old school electro dance hip hop shit. But Quentin's on the way, right? And but Quentin doesn't have a verse there. He has a verse on Pack the Pipe, but we'll talk about Quentin's on the way. Quentin's on the way. He's a drug dealer. So they have a guy named Quentin that whenever they call him up in like 30 minutes, he brings weed. He brings a bunch of pot for him. And it's so funny because the song starts off and like Quentin's on the way, but then like later on it gets a little more wild. And I think they're trying to do this Louis Armstrong voice, like Quentin's on his way. And it's like, what are you doing? But they're all so fucking excited just to get pot, just to get weed. And throughout this whole, and then some of the verses too, like I think it was Passing Me By, they had to stop the sessions because they were just too fucked up and stoned. They went home and then like, all right, today we're not going to smoke. And they, achieved that goal throughout half the day. But that's all they did was just smoke a lot of fucking weed. But then, so I kind of like got into this Quentin thing because like that's crazy. This guy's like a well-known drug dealer in this era. Tommy Boy Records, a couple years after this came out, supposedly tracked this Quentin dude down and then cut a couple tracks with them. They put out this like one little 7-inch EP thing. Side A was one thing, and then side B was a song called like Not an MC or something like that, which Quentin just rapped about how he's not an MC, doesn't want to be a rapper. He just likes dealing weed, and that's it. And it's super obscure, and it's just like, why even do this?
Yeah, why?
We talked about this earlier in the episode. Like, how the fuck did they get away with having their drug dealer rap on a verse? That is crazy.
It is weird. Yeah.
Like we've had drug dealers become rappers, like Eazy-E, right, became a rapper and then rapped, but you've never just had a guy like, oh, Quentin's here. Hey, do you want to do a verse? He's like, I'm not a rapper. Fuck it, do it anyway. Because even his rap on Pack the Pipe, it's not very good. It's very like dude, you're struggling, right? But it's fucking funny. It's funny enough. And that's wild to me. Yeah. And then
that it is.
That's about all I got for the notes, except for the cover art.
Yeah. What about the cover art? Well, I like the cover.
Do you see that's
like
it's a vagina?
Yeah.
And then like that's like the head of the woman.
I'd never noticed the head of the
woman. That's her vagina, no. And like
but the vagina.
That's like one leg. That's like the other leg.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that part.
People say like these are like the boobs. So it's like a whole thing. I don't want to say it's a stretch because I do think that's exactly what it is, but it's a very artistic play on that concept, right? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it really is.
And they're all kind of going in, like, here we go, yay! Yeah, that's all I got, dude. I think that's
good.
Good.
So let's give our final thoughts on this record. Let's rate the record based off of our world famous 3-point rating system, where 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to. 1 is a bad album, give it a shot, and 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. What do you got? Go.
I've already sang my praises enough for this one. I think this is important to the history of hip hop in the same way that like 36 Chambers is, in the same way that like De La Soul is. Like these are storytellers. We're telling a story here. It's just a different side of the world of hip hop, of the minority scene in Los Angeles and Southern California. We've never heard it like this before. After this, we hear a lot of it. Like Del had his album, I think the same year as this one came out, but then like Hieroglyphics really like dove on it, and like Jedi Mind Tricks. A lot of these guys will start telling like really in-depth, complicated stories of hip hop. We've never heard it so just humorous and jokey and vulnerable. Like this is super, super vulnerable in a way that's way more normal to most people than a lot of what you get from the big ones, and like the really, really big ones in hip hop, right? Like the Death Row and and like the big boy or the bad boy stuff. Like those aren't normal people, dude. They're already bigger than life. They're already making big kid money, and they're already have way more hoes and area codes than we can possibly imagine. And so stuff like this that comes out, like this is like the template for alternative hip hop, still to this day. And they're actually going on tour. I'm not gonna go because it's expensive, and I really don't want to see them right now. I'm in that mood right now, you know, and I spent tickets to go to a different place. That's a lot of money. But they're touring with Atmosphere, and Atmosphere's opening, and then Pharcyde is going to be the next band. It's in August at the Van Buren. But it's just like there would be no Atmosphere if it wasn't for Pharcyde. Like, right, you know what I mean? Like these guys like open the door for so much alternative hip hop that the possibilities are still endless. And guys like Juice WRLD like cites Pharcyde as like one of his favorites when he was alive. Like even hip hop like artists today, like Blue, like a lot of guys from LA, like they love Pharcyde because it's just like this is something so fucking different. It's so inspiring from everything else that came out of the West Coast hip hop era from the early '90s. And right after this too, like a lot of other things came out that were fun, but never like this. Never like this. Never this. I hate saying it's like kiddie. It's like childish because it's really not. They do put a lot of effort into it, but I think this is no more childish than a lot of the shit like Biggie was rapping about, right? Because
I get
like
it.
You can be one dimensional in the other way. I think this is severely underrated, even though it's wildly hailed as like one of the best hip hop albums of all time, or at least in the contention for being a top 10 or a 21. I think this is a perfect fucking 3 out of 3. This is a perfect hip hop record through and through. There's nothing on here I would get rid of. The skits, the interludes, every single thing on here needs to be
throwing
here.
threes around.
And it ends with just like, even though we just had this entire record of like what we want to do and where we want hip, they weren't even thinking that actually. It's not like this is where we want hip hop to go. They're just in real time. They're like, this is just who we are. And the last song is like, but this is where we came from. This is what we like, and that's why it's a throwback
cool.
to the electro hip hop thing. And it's still a cool track. It's still fucking rad. So yeah, this is a 3 out of 3. Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
My final thoughts. I think this is the West Coast version of what was going on the East Coast already. I mean, I'm not a hip hop expert or anything like that, but I think to me this is like. This is them taking a goofier approach to what was going on the East Coast, or a more fun approach, I should say, to what was going on the East Coast. But I feel musically and rapping wise and all that, I feel like it's not that different than what Tribe was doing, De La Soul were doing over there. But they were just doing it here on the West Coast. And maybe that's why so many people have attached themselves, like West Coast rappers have attached themselves to the Pharcyde rather than Tribe or other groups over on the East Coast. That's really what I think it is. But I don't know. There's something about this that I just don't really, I can't get into. I think it's fun. It's certainly fun at moments, but I would never really go back to this unless I was with you. I wouldn't get this on vinyl. It's not bad by any means. It's just not my thing. And with that being said, I'll give this a 2.2 out of 3. 2.2 out of 3.
See that? That was good, huh? I guessed it exactly.
Well, you tried.
I literally said 2 out of 3.
Which means 4. You add those up, that's 4.
2? There's no 4 to 3. Oh.
Why? Well, there's not.
Oh.
But anyway, yeah, that's.
I feel like
that's all I have for this one.
I feel like the more hip hop we do on the pod, the less you like hip hop in general.
That's not true at all. I loved hip hop season. That was so much fun.
But I think like
and I discovered like new shit from hip hop season too.
I just feel like every time we talk about it, you like it less and less.
I have like a solid hip hop collection too in my vinyl.
You have a hip hop collection, okay? Let's not get.
It's a solid one. It's solid.
It's a collection.
Fuck off. You know it's
a
solid.
collection.
That's stupid. That's stupid. All right, so dude, I know you don't. So that's it. Thank you all for listening. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button, dude. That's what the kids say, and that's it. That's all.